Now, does stealing cake pops from the weird cult insurance fraud party count as trick-or-treating? Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is SockBot, and today we're going to be talking about some Halloween dreams. Now, I did post a video earlier on this week about Halloween dreams, specifically the ones that were the rooms included in the All Hallows Dreams event, which if you haven't checked that out, well, the event and the video, go check both out immediately. Well, mostly the event, because the event is truly impressive, and I didn't get to quite talk enough about how impressive the setup was for this by Media Molecule and how much work they put into it, because I mean, look right now, you can see these gorgeous new imps for Halloween. They even had selectable characters within what was just a creator showcase. Truly an amazing event, but I really just wanted to spend that video focusing on the creators' creations, because that's generally what we do here. But today I want to talk specifically about Halloween games, and that's what we're going to be playing through. The majority of these should be from the past year, a few may not be, but hopefully you haven't seen them and we can kind of experience them together anyways. I have played a couple of these, but I will be reacting to the majority of them for the first time, and hopefully editing this down so we can skip some weird ones, because the first single player one we're going to be playing is called Pig Detective Halloween Special, and it could be a pretty big mishmash of interesting ideas and weird things that I might not be allowed to show on YouTube. So if you enjoyed this sort of review of a lot of games, which is going to be entirely positive because they're user-created games and I tend to be very nice to people, feel free to leave a like down below and feel free to subscribe if you want to see more Dreams content. But regardless, let's get right into Pig Detective Halloween Special, I guess. If there is a lot of sound going on, by the way, I might cut things out, especially if there's copyrighted music, but I can't hear it, so I'll add in little notes if there's some interesting sound bites here and there. But oh, that is very dark. There we go. See, that's nice because I really struggle with a lot of these games that absolutely give you no options when it comes to brightness. And I get that some people's TVs are just brighter than others, but if I can't see it in post, that means that it's not bright enough. Okay. Oh, this is cute. Oh, this is really cute. I say that, but last Halloween we ended up going through horror games, and it wasn't so much a these are really cool games. It was an, oh, this is really cute, and then it got really dark and people started dying, and I half expect it to go that way here. But oh, we're so gonna get into trouble. It's Halloween. That's what kids do. But don't smash pumpkins. It's just rude. There's nothing more heartbreaking than seeing a smashed pumpkin. Uh-oh. Ma'am? See, this is what I mean. Objective is to trick or treat. I immediately go into the basement of a creepy place where, oh, wait, this kind of looks like Chuck E. Cheese, doesn't it? Of course, I guess if anybody's played Five Nights at Freddy's, which at this point, who hasn't played Five Nights at Freddy's? There's been like 14 games. This could go in a dark direction.
How did you get in here, kids? This is no place for little children. It's only a place for French dogs and their cigarettes.
Tu n'es pas le petit canard de Grégory? Oh, this is really cute. Okay, so as with most games on this, I'm sort of going to give more of a first impressions. Like, if you were to do this with Skyrim, my sort of review for these sorts of games, it would be probably the intro scenario and then the sort of breadcrumb quest you get right out of that. But then again, this is a Dreams game, so who knows? I gotta say, I love the character design in here. These little Halloween characters are adorable, but especially this guy. Look at him. He's so cute. No, I'm not an officer. This is just a costume. Officer Cat told me to mind his shop while he went out partying. That seems safe. Oh wow, this is turning into a Legend of Zelda game where it's go here and then go here and then, oh, now you're saving the world, and I'm assuming that's what's gonna happen. Is this, hold on, they changed the camera angle here. Ooh, that's smart. I remember these scenes, like where you're back here, where you're kind of walking up to a house or walking up to something for hours, and it kind of builds that like crazy tension. Not sure how it works for a game like this, but it's kind of cute, but it very much does remind me of the Resident Evil games. The old ones where there was like pre-rendered backgrounds that were just image files.
Duck off and take your little friends with you.
That escalated quickly. Ooh, those look like climbable vines. Yep. Video game staple. See, that's such a cute way to do this. So, like, as opposed to the majority of games where you would have to create some sort of climbing animation for an adventure game like this, which I'm assuming you could call this some kind of adventure story game, it's kind of frightening. But instead of having to spend all that time creating a climbing animation, why not just use it as a transition to another area? Now, do you remember at the beginning when I said these games always start off cute and then turn really dark? Literally, my TV just turned off for no reason, right as we enter the Cthulhu layer. No, it's not an in-game thing. I really hope this is still recording. Is there something else in here I'm not seeing? Interesting. Oh. Well, Kid Cultist. This room reminds me of that one part in Resident Evil 2 where you fall through the ground in the library. If you haven't played Resident Evil 2, I'll give you a quick summary. You fall through the ground in the library.
Cromwell, old boy, I must say, good job on after paying off Mr. Sharkey. We still have enough money left for all our youth plan.
Is anybody surprised that it's white-collar insurance fraud? Now, does stealing cake pops from the weird cult insurance fraud party count as trick-or-treating? But Mom, Jared said his parents would let him join the cult meeting. Why can't I? Okay, I'm a little bit lost right now. Normally I skip these parts out of pure embarrassment, but does anybody remember those parts in like a Resident Evil game, or even just general games? Like, I'm pretty sure it happened in Crash Bandicoot a few times, where there were these like small parts where you would spend hours trying to figure out where the heck you're supposed to go, especially in JRPGs, actually. I remember this happening in the Tales games, where you would walk around forever and realize that all you had to do was at the end of that dungeon that you were in, which you then have to go all the way through again because the enemies respawn, all you had to do was walk towards the screen where there was like a very small indicator of a door. Yeah, screw those places. Alright, well, we're going to stop here, not because I can't find out where to go. What are you talking about? It's clearly not the case at all, which is why this is minutes later and multiple strands of hair falling in front of my face out of stress later. But if you do want to enjoy Pig Detective Halloween Special, you'll have to check out the rest on your own, because we gotta move on. Let's check out A Ghost's Halloween. Now, this one immediately is very exciting because of the character that is shown right on the front page here. And I do realize that these are some of the more popular dreams. We'll get to the weird ones. Don't you worry. Well, that's the first time I've ever seen something as frightening as leave your grave using the left stick. Wow. Dang, that is an impressive werewolf. I gotta say, I'm very impressed with the flying physics in this. It's a little derpy, but at the same time, like, getting something to fly how you want it to in Dreams is quite difficult. It's weird how some games in Dreams control so incredibly well, and you feel like you have the hang of the controls, and then suddenly you'll fly up 6 feet in the air how you weren't supposed to. I'm assuming it's because in Dreams a lot of people don't make those sort of catch-all, like, what-if moments just in case a character happens to ramp off of the perfect cliff at the perfect time and launch that high in the air. You kind of need those extra bits of logic to deal with a character when that happens. Dracula is now chasing my forlorn soul as I simply try to enjoy Halloween as the beautiful ghost man that I am. And continuously get vaporized by bats. Who would have thought? One thing that will never work in Little Big Planet or Dreams is stairs that are sculpted as actual stairs. Trust me, I talk about this from personal experience. Oh, murdered by a bat. Okay, there's two more. Where are the two? Oh, there's Dracula. One more. Where's the last one? I think it's over here. I can't see anything. Are you kidding me? I have one more pumpkin and 19 seconds left. Well, if you want to disappoint a forlorn soul, check out A Ghost Halloween. Yeah, let's do it. Oh dear. Well, this just got unfamily friendly. Square hit. I say that there's something charming about how derpy some dreams are, and I don't mean that to insult anything. If you've seen my own creations, you can see the derpiness there too. Also, can we get an F in the chat to respect how tiny this jump is? Tiniest jump ever. Michael Myers, 2020. Be honest, not the best serial killer here. Oh, there's one. Step, 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 step. Step, 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 step. Oh, this one's running away. Oh. Step, 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 step. Alright, now we're moving into a puzzle game. This is cute. Things like this where you can reuse the assets, but like plan for something a little bit more unique is always fun. And it gets exposure. I've never seen this game before. There we go. There's one. Oh, and here's where you realize it's counting my moves, and I've already failed. Bam! 2 at once. I say that like that's impressive. Alright, 10 out of 10 puzzle game. Would recommend. That was fun. Now here's the question. Do you think that puzzle games are more fun when it just takes you a while to figure out and you just sort of have to play around with it till you get it? Or do you find puzzle games more fun when there's like a set of moves that you have to figure out how to do in a specific order or with specific techniques, and you're sort of limited by like moves? So I guess what I'm trying to say is, are puzzle games better when it's like a time thing, like do as much of the right thing in that time, or try to figure it out in like slow and methodical ways? I definitely lean towards more the time ones where it's like the Tetris or the clear the cubes within that what's the one? They had a great Halloween themed one that used to be available like year round at this one little snack bar where my brother used to play hockey, and no, it was not me that played hockey. If that's shocking to you, it probably shouldn't be. But I used to play it on this tiny little thing, which I realized later on was actually the screens that they have at bars for people that go to bars and don't want to talk to people, which doesn't seem like a right reason to go to a bar. But you know what? With those types of games on there, which I played for hours and hours and hours for many years, I mean, I guess they were pretty good. Do I want to do it? Oh no. Does that mean Mickey's coming for me? Speed! Speed! Oh dear. This is going to be Slender Man, isn't it? I gotta say, I love the character design in this. And this is the first one we've played that... Oh wow, there was something behind the trees there that disappeared, wasn't there? I gotta say, the character design in this is adorable. It moves shockingly well. Oh. Yay, we got it. Oh gosh, now I gotta drive back through the woods. Let's hit it. Wait, does that mean I can hit it? Can I hit it with my car? Yes, I can. Oh god. Oh god. Look how happy he is when he knocks over something. Hold on, I'm gonna try to knock something over and show you his face. Look at that smile. Favorite game so far. Makes sense, it has 13,000 plays. Okay, I may have played this on stream at some point, but I've definitely never talked about it in a video. So I gotta say the character design in this game is incredible. Didn't play it for long because again, we only try to go into these very briefly unless they're short games anyways, but just wow. And it reminds me so much of Galaxy, but like with its own tone, I guess you could say. Love the character design. The controls in this, I think I may have played it in beta, so I'm not fully sure, but the only complaint that I had to begin with was that it's kind of a top-down platformer, which if you remember them from Little Big Planet when they did top-down platformers, it's definitely doable. And there are certain sections in major games that do it anyways. It's just a little bit more difficult. It's hard to see how high your character is, so it's kind of hard to tell when they're going to land, like right there. In addition, it also gives me an excuse to be bad at a platformer. Not that anybody's not used to that to begin with. Oh, interesting. So it has the sort of climbing mechanics like the like Mega Man X or something like that. See, this is what I mean. It's sort of hard to see where you're going to land. One of the reasons why those sections in Crash Bandicoot, which I've talked about quite a bit recently because I've been playing it, one of the things that they updated in the new versions of the game that I actually think is it's not so much like the new versus like retro mode. They added a shadow under your character that's like highlighted in green. Oh, I love that design of Ghost. I've tried using so many games and I just haven't gotten the chance to, but they're so cute. Oh dear. But it is truly one of the best things they've ever added to a classic game in like a reboot. And I will say, on top of that, I think I may have said this a couple times already at least during a stream, that the Crash Bandicoot reboot slash fourth game in the series is one of the only games that's come back after years of not being made, and especially by a different studio, and been absolutely fantastic, and not only kind of met what the old games were going for, but exceeded it in the sense not that it's like better than the other games, but just that it seems like it could have been a sequel that was released years ago, and it being released now, it didn't change its quality or the intent of it at all, other than the fact that it does have incredible graphics for what, like, a genre that normally doesn't get that sort of treatment. Going back to the game that we're actually playing right now, this controls really well for a platformer like this, and is surprisingly simple in its aesthetic. Like, I know that a lot of these assets are being reused, which is fine, but they're varying the challenges just enough to keep it interesting. A little bit confused at this whole stunt mechanic. Like, I appreciate how pretty they are. Something that looks cool, but not something that was like used in a platforming challenge in this level. Like, they totally could have taken that and had you like sort of had a wall jumping section similar to what you would see in something like Mario 64 or any of the other Mario games. But that was really cool. And it was like the right level of difficulty. I feel like when people post their like first dream or the dream that they want to sort of define what this game world that they're creating is going to be, so maybe like the first level or something like that, that's a perfect way to do it. Just something that shows a bunch of assets, shows a few of the game mechanics, but isn't like a really big challenge in itself. I do realize that a lot of people make these things as one-offs, and that makes sense. Especially when, you know, you put all of this effort into something and you really only have the time to make one level. But at the same time, I feel like it's great to start with something like that and then expand on it in other games, as opposed to just making one huge game that is available for people to dream surf that they're going to just run into. Because a lot of the times, from my personal experience, obviously, you know, I film things somewhat shortly for this channel, but for a lot of people that I've talked to that play this game, one of the things that they love to do is just dream surf and like just get through a bunch of games and just have a few different experiences here and there, and then kind of go back and look into those creators. And that is one of the ways that I find a lot of content for this channel, is by dream surfing and then kind of delving further into something that I find within a game. And it's definitely personal bias to there to some extent, but when you are creating games like this, I think making that first experience with a game exciting and not off-putting in any way, like in terms of super hard difficulty or in terms of a handful of controls that you throw at them at the beginning, which have definitely led to a lot of really good games. I've played great games that have that huge spread of controls at the beginning, but I don't think that for the majority of Dreams players, that is something that is going to encourage them to keep playing. It kind of dulls the grab of the game a little bit. And I talked about this in an entire video about how AAA games do this all the time, and it doesn't work great there. Now for this, like, that was a really good example of that. It was a very simple introduction of the assets, the character, the platforming, and I think that from there, they could easily go into a much more in-depth platformer. I think the only thing that I don't really understand is, as a top-down platformer, which I think is sort of a niche and not super easy to play category, having some sort of indicator where you land definitely helps, sort of like Crash Bandicoot does, even though it's not a top-down platformer for the most part. But more so, I don't know why that was top-down and not third-person, where third-person would have kind of let you see more of the world. And maybe that's the aesthetic they were going to, where you were kind of like looking down into the abyss. But if that's the case, then I think adding something more intriguing in the abyss would have helped that game a lot. It's still a fantastic game, and that's one of the reasons why I talked about it so much, because there was so much to love, and I think that I want to see more from that creator. All right, let's jump into one more. Now here, This is, if you've seen like the controversy around who created the Scream mask, it's crazy. It's definitely owned by exactly one company right now, in terms of like the person that owns the rights to Scream. But this mask is one of like the most contentious copyright issue things within like Halloween related costumes or horror movie related props. It's very weird considering it is a major motion picture that has like had how many entries now, 4 or 5, and yet here we are, and it's in Dreams. So I'm gonna make it blue, and oh, you have to wait to unlock other knives. Darn it. Well, I guess let's kill some teens. Does anybody understand why certain Dreams games have loading screens? Does that make any sense? Oh goodness. Oh, censoring this. Oh, definitely censoring this. Totally would play again. That was quite interesting. Well, my camera and also this shut off at the exact same time, so I'm going to say happy Halloween. That's a great time to stop here before I start creeping the hell out of myself. If you do want to see more of a serious stream where I really play some of these horror games, I've done it before, so feel free to go watch that from last year. But I will absolutely be talking more about horror dreams throughout the year. It's one of my favorite things to do is go back and play all of these and sort of get scared at them as well. Now, that will be more in a I have my headphones on and I'm going to stream it sort of way, because that's, well, that's the funnest way, and also it's what makes me scream loudly, which is apparently what people like to see when I play horror games. But we'll be doing that another time. For now, I hope you enjoyed this delve into a bunch of random genre games based around Halloween. Hope you're all doing well. Happy Halloween. Again, if this two-tone lighting is a huge sin when it comes to cinematography, I apologize. But like this video if you like it, subscribe if you want to, you know, all the normal jazz. I hope you're all doing well, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Happy Halloween, everybody. All right, bye, guys.